Here, back in December, a union rail worker warned about the potential for a catastrophic train derailment. Then a week ago, it happened in Ohio.
Rail workers warned us about disaster like this. I heard firsthand months ago about the corporate practice of precision scheduled railroad. Rail workers tried to strike over this stuff, but were stopped by Congress. A few weeks later, and here we are, 20 miles from where I grew up. So I met Clyde in East Palestine to ask him about it.
It looks like a faulty bearing caused a catastrophic derailment. These railroads are turning profits hand over fist. They've cut their workforce to bare bones. Carmen were inspecting cars about 3 minutes per car. That's always been the industry standard. Now it's 90 seconds per car.
Profit at any cost. And disaster like this is simply a cost of doing business. They cut everything, make all the money, and pay off disasters in tiny flyover towns from the profit. But instead of answering for any of that,
oh, speaking of the payout, you want to see the payout? You want to see the fucking fuck you money that they gave to the town? They gave $25,000. Residents of East Palestine, Ohio aren't even sure if their town is safe. They're extremely troubled by dead fish in the local stream and dead chickens found in a neighboring town. But guess what, guys? Don't worry. Norfolk Southern has got your back. $25,000 to an Ohio town where it caused a life or death evacuation. Remember, the local news at the time was reporting if you are in this area, if you're in the area of the smoke cloud, it's danger, grave danger to life. They evacuated the entire town. A couple days later, they're like, come on, you can come back in. It's all good. But fear not, 25 grand, baby. You're good. On February 6th, an apocalyptic plume of gas rose over the village of East Palestine, Ohio, blotting out the sky. Norfolk Southern, the U.S. railway company responsible for the toxic spew of vinyl chloride, has now offered a $25,000 donation to assist the area's nearly 5,000 residents who were ordered to evacuate their homes or face death. Hey, man, $5 to pop. You might have birth defects. You might just get cancer 10 years down the line. But guess what? You also got $5. Think about that. Think about the $5 that you got when you get cancer, 10 years later. We have established a family assistance center to address the needs of the community and support those directly impacted, Norfolk Southern said in a statement. It remains unclear what exactly the center is doing to assist displaced residents. Norfolk Southern has a history of lobbying against safety regulations. Shocking. The publicly traded company, which has a market value of $55 billion, fought the Federal Railroad Administration's push to upgrade the Civil War era brake system that remains widely used in American trains and against stricter rules on the transport of hazardous materials. Meanwhile, its employees still lack guaranteed sick leave. Thank you, Joe Brandon, by the way. You are my best friend. You are the one who allowed this to continue. There is a very solid chance Norfolk Southern knew there was a hot axle on this train miles before it derailed, but ordered the crew to keep moving because stopping to inspect or set out the car would delay other trains. It will be interesting to see if NTSB is able to recover radio traffic and readouts from the defect detectors along the route. Bro, remember how they covered Chernobyl? Remember how HBO Chernobyl, we were talking about the USSR is so bad, the USSR is so bad. 9 Röntgen, not good, not great, right? Bro, this is the same shit. Breaking after the Ohio derailment, Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg has no plans to reinstate Obama's brake rule, despite a warning to Congress that without it, there will be more derailments. Buttigieg's Department of Transportation is now considering a proposal that may weaken safety rules, actually. Guys, what the American citizens would truly benefit from? Less regulation, which would create more derailments, because derailments are fun, It's like a fun little activity. When toxic carcinogens basically enter the airwaves and also your water supply, it's like a fun thing. It's like an additional thing that you have to survive through. And everybody likes playing Fallout. A lot of people like playing that game, the video game Fallout. Why don't you want to live in Fallout world in the real world? I don't understand. You should be thanking me for creating this environment for you to enjoy. Safety concerns have also grown amid Norfolk Southern's implementation of precision scheduled railroading and operations policy criticizes a corporate money grab to cut costs. Companies slash jobs more than a fifth since 2017. Meanwhile, the unions were literally like, bro, you need to hire more people. You need to hire more people. They're like, why would we hire more people when we can get 4/5 of the same workforce to cover the same amount of work? I don't understand. That's called efficiency. You're being stupid. Well, guess what? This is what happens when you look for efficiency. But of course, here's the thing. Why should any capitalist corporation not do this? If the government is very openly defending them, if the government is very openly allowing them to do this, if no executive is even expected to go to jail for this, why should they do anything? Why? There's no legislation. There's no one forcing their hand. Why should they do this? When they can get away with throwing 25 grand, which is like honestly worse than not giving them any money, straight up. Giving the town that they have potentially eviscerated $25,000 of fuck you money seems worse than not giving them any money at all. It's literally like an insult. It's like, here, take this shit. Fuck off. It's like when, police unions or cities give payouts to like victims of police brutality. Like they did this in Florida where they gave the family $4 or something for each of the children that saw their father get murdered in their own home by a cop. And then the city paid them out, I think, 25 cents a person or something, or either $4 or $1. That's a real story, by the way. That happened like in 2017. Anyway, on top of that, to make matters worse, ignoring concerns that understaffing could impact railway safety, which is what they did, they also initiated a $10 billion stock buyback program. Millions of dollars in corporate lobbying and poor regulations have created the perfect storm, according to Railroad Workers United, a cross-union rail workers caucus. The wreck of Train 32N has been years in the making. What other such train wrecks await us remain to be seen, RWU said in a press release. Pete Buttigieg already said that he's not interested in this. Now, of course, part of the reason why Pete or Joe Biden or anyone doesn't even feel the need to address this or talk about it is because the media is not covering it. There is not enough anger. East Palestine is a tiny ass fucking town with 5,000 people in it, and nobody really gives a shit. This will continue happening over and over and over again, just like the railway unions said it would. It's just going to happen to a larger town, going to happen to a more populated area. It's just about assessing the risks in that situation. It's basically about like how much of a stink can we make? How much damage can we get away with? Especially when the media doesn't fucking talk about it. Yeah. People with personal chickens in East Palestine are all reporting all their chickens are suddenly deceased.